Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Real Fit Pros. It's your boy, Jonathan Loudermilk, your host with the most. And as always, I've got my PIC, that's partner in crime, Marc the Fitness Ninja Zalmanoff, as he has returned from his vacation trip of the new year. And this is actually our first podcast of 2022, isn't it?
It's weird because what's today? We're recording this on the 19th of January.
Because we loaded up a bunch for like 4 weeks. This is our first one of 2022.
January's almost done.
I know, right? It's crazy how fast everything moves. And by the way, young bucks, y'all listening, it gets faster as you get older.
yeah, it does. Because the percentage of your life changes. Well, and they say too that because as you get older, your days all kind of mirror each other. Like when you're young, like it's all fucking, you never know what's going to happen. And then you get older and you have a schedule.
Yeah. So that's how it happens.
Yeah, that's how it happens. And then every day is the same fucking 2 eggs and an egg white and a half a day bagel. And I work out at this time and I drink my lemon water at this time. And
I just wake up, do what I'm supposed to do that day, and do that every single day for 365 days out of the year. But, with that being said, before we actually get into today's topic and, of course, share a fun story with you, make sure to do all the things that helps us help you and help the rest of our brothers and sisters out there go get with the worth. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Leave us a review. It does make a huge impact on the channel. And once again, that one review could be the one thing that changes someone else's life. So with that being said, I know Marc's got a pretty cool story just dropped on social today. So I'm going to kick it to you to share that, man. Then we're going to get into the topic today.
Yeah, this morning I slightly murdered one of my newer clients in the gym, which is, that's kind of a regular occurrence. And, for those of you who do in-person training, even if you do online, but if you do in-person training, there's so many moments that you can take advantage of for pictures and video and content and really sharing people's stories online. And so, I took a picture of my guy, Jon Hiley, who is a badass, by the way. But he was kind of laid out on the floor a little bit, had the old one leg still cocked up on the rower because when he finished, he just kind of flopped over to the side, which, if you've ever done work on a rower, we've all done that. I'm sure nobody's ever taken a picture of me like that, but I've been in that position plenty of times. So I shared it on the socials and we all have a good time. And again, I know my clientele well, so I can have fun like that and they don't take offense to it. But what I do with those pictures is every year I make a calendar for the gym. And it's kind of fun because, the first couple years actually that I made the calendar, every month has a different client. And all the pictures were clients laying on the floor looking like they're in pain. So it checks off the entertainment box for me personally, which is awesome. But I didn't realize how much people would actually enjoy it. So I hang the calendar up in the gym. It's at a spot where pretty much everybody's going to see it every day when they come in. And it really kind of took me back how much people enjoyed it. And they're like, "Ooh, I wonder who's on the one next month. I wonder what picture. Oh shit, that's me." There's always that. It's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you put me on there." But then they secretly kind of like it.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those little things that I think, when you do this for a long time, you kind of have to get creative. You have to know your people well, and you have to have fun. And I think that fun element is often missed with a lot of coaches. And when you do this, again, when you're in this is my 20th year of coaching. So I do not take myself seriously at all. Right. And there were probably plenty of years where I took myself way too fucking seriously.
Well, that's the first couple of years we all do,
Yeah. Show them how great of a trainer I am. Yeah.
Right.
But you got to have fun. You got to have fun with your clients. You got to make part of the experience enjoyable. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what kind of results people see. They're not going to come back. Like, they could get in the greatest shape in the world, but if it's fucking miserable every time they show up to the gym,
man,
we're not going to do it anymore.
Well, we either run towards pleasure or we run from pain. That's just how we're wired as human beings. So you're tapping in onto that going, if I put too much pain in, eventually that person is going to end up stop showing up. But if I can get them focused towards running towards pleasure by making it fun and building community, well, then it takes care of itself. And, for y'all listening right now, I hope y'all are taking notes on this, because I've been in the industry for 14 years. This is the first time I've ever heard of this being used within a gym concept. And it's freaking brilliant, man. It solves a lot of problems, builds community, creates entertainment, get engagement for your social media. And then once again, on your 20th year, man, you probably, you got to come up with new stuff to keep it fun,
I love it. I love it. It brings me joy.
Yeah. And I think it's a good segue too, because, being an entrepreneur, let's just be frank, it ain't for everybody. It's a lot of hats that you have to wear, right? You got to go from coach to salesperson to customer service to being the mayor to being the social media manager. And, part of what's sparking us talking about this today is I was talking to a few clients, and, the look that they had in their face, I could just see the weight. When you just meet someone, you can tell that, man, they're just getting their ass kicked right now. But, they got a smile on their face. They're getting up and they're fighting. But it's like, man, you're just going through it right now. So I want to share with you the conversations that I had with them. And I know Marc's going to dive in a little bit into this too, as we get into like more of the micro. What I like to share with you is the macro of kind of how you really structure your days and your weeks to make sure that you're optimizing yourself. Because when you're an entrepreneur and you're starting off by yourself, you are the machine. If you get sick, what happens? Business doesn't get done. Right? If you forget and it doesn't get done, well, there's no one else there to pick up the slack. So it's how do you optimize your own machine? And part of it's getting really intentional with what are you focusing on each day throughout the week. So one of the things that me and Marc talk a lot about in our circles is power moves, right? And we've done some episodes on here where, talking about doing these bigger play moves that will, over a long period of time, dramatically make growing your business a lot easier, right? Versus you having to grind it out each and every day. Well, as you're doing this stuff, it can be overwhelming. Going from training clients to I've got a sales consultation to, I'm supposed to do my podcast or I'm supposed to write a blog. How do I balance all this stuff? So this is where when you start thinking about the different tasks in your business, right? One of them being power moves. That would be something that you line up on like one day out of the week. So maybe if you're dragging going, hey, I've been meaning to start my podcast, I've been meaning to write a blog, whatever the thing is, put it on Monday, get it out of the way so that you can do the fun stuff the rest of the week. It's the same thing I did with fitness clients. If I met a guy that's like, I hate doing legs, I was like, oh, that's good to know, Bob. Guess what we're doing on fucking Monday? Doing legs. Hey, Bob, why are we doing that? Because it's the hardest thing, dude. Once you get that out, hey, you're going to love doing arms on Friday, right? Hell yeah, cool, right? So you got to start gamifying this within yourself so that you're moving forward each and every day and week with doing the things that need to get done, right? Now, and then you just break that up for your other tasks. If you're really bad about follow-up, like, hey, I've got all these leads, but I'll be honest, I never, ever follow up with them. Start setting up a day where like that's all you're doing is getting in service and reaching out to your people, and block that out so that no matter what else is going on, that's your focus during that time. You're not training clients, you're not responding to clients, you're not doing sales calls, whatever else you have to do, that task is blocked for that specific thing, and keep it themed for that day so that you can keep your mindset focused on that type of thinking. Because the difficulty is having to pivot back and forth as you go through this stuff. With that, man, Marc, do you got anything you want to add on that? Because I could keep on going, man. We do the whole episode just me talking. If you cool with that.
The intentionality behind our time is really the key component to all of this.
Yep.
And I think it's also understanding where you are in your business, not somebody else's business, not the Instagram person. Like, you have to know where you are. And there's a time and a place for all those things. And some of you aren't there yet. Some of you were there 5 years ago and haven't done shit with it either. So it goes both ways. Like, if you're brand new, you're just starting out, like, you need clients. You don't need to worry about a fucking podcast and a book.
Right.
You need to connect with people on a daily basis and have a conversation that leads people into working with you. That's your number one goal every fucking day.
Yep.
That's it. You've been coaching for 15 years. Well, it's a different story now. And if you're still struggling, then there's things that you probably should have been doing 5 years ago that you haven't done yet.
Right.
So understanding where you are, what your goals are, and then like you said, Jon, just really being intentional with that time and not making the one task last a whole week and then
Yeah.
and nothing else gets done. It's like, okay, well, I want to start a podcast. Okay, well, Monday I'll write down some ideas, and then Tuesday I'll get the software, and then no, just spend 1 hour, get as much done as you can, and then move on.
Yeah. And I think it comes right back to fitness. Like, what people need to be successful is motivation and accountability. If someone's motivated to do the work and they're being held accountable, they're going to be successful. So how do you do that with yourself? Well, holding yourself accountable is when you put things in the calendar, that's a non-negotiable. That is a pact that you are making with yourself. And every time you do not do the thing that you put on there, you are breaking trust with yourself. And then you're wondering why you can't close any deals because you don't fucking have any confidence.
Yep.
But when you start keeping those promises to yourself, no matter what anyone else says, you start going, you know what? I did what I said I was going to do today. I feel damn good. And you had enough of those days in a row. You don't think that your life's going to start looking different after a while? The answer is yes. Now, with the motivation, I'm going to share something personal. I'm not trying to get spiritual with you. I don't care what you believe in, right? Whatever that is, or maybe you don't believe in anything. That's totally your choice. But one of the things I started doing for me, which is actually solving multiple problems in my life, is I started going back to church again, right? And this is something I haven't done since high school, and it's been a while since I've been in high school, if you can't tell. But I started doing that because my Mondays I set up for spending the whole day developing my staff. I have team meetings and one-on-one meetings. I don't take any client calls. I don't take sales calls. I don't do anything else. I do post on social, of course, but that day is for my people. So if I want to show up, or not want to, but I have to show up and be the best version of me, I need to prime myself and juice myself up so that when that day comes, I'm showing up at 110% Jonathan, and I have all this to pour into other people, right? But you can't pour into others if you're not pouring into yourself. So in my instance, I'm using church to solve multiple buckets with this stuff, as well as other reasons too. And I'm not telling you that you need to go to church and give yourself the Jesus Christ or any of that stuff, but think about what are some things that you can institute in your life that are you pouring back into yourself, so that when you hit the ground running come Monday morning, you've got all this overabundance of energy and positivity that it's going to allow you to show up in a different manner that week.
It's always interesting to me. We tend to push away things a lot of times that we know in the back of our head that are going to be good for us, but we're like, oh, one more thing, right? But just like health and fitness, like people know what to do. Like the majority of human beings know what to do to get in shape.
Right.
Why don't they do it? Because it's uncomfortable. Number one, and there's work involved, right? So, going to church, again, it's intentionality. You gotta get up, you gotta get ready, you gotta, you have to drive, you gotta make an effort to be there. And then you don't just want to be there. Like you don't just want to be a warm body in the audience. Like you want to be present, you want to be mindful, you want to try to absorb whatever message it is that you're hearing. And, surprise, surprise, it enhances your life, right?
Yeah.
But again, all that is you being intentional and going, you know what? I know that's good for me. I know it's good for my relationship with my wife. I know it's good for my relationship with my friends and my family and my business. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. And dude, I totally understand why Conor McGregor has like 8 coaches or 10 or whatever. He has a coach for coaches. He's got a coach for every area of his life. I fucking get it now, because it's like taking creatine and putting it into the major areas of your life. And it's like putting almost like guardrails so that you're always going to go forward. You may bounce left to right a little bit, but if you surround yourself with the right people in the right environment, all you got to do is show up and do the work. And I think for me, that's alleviated so much anxiety, knowing that all I have to do is show up and run the play. That's all I have to do. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck and messed up, as they get in their own head. And like we started the episode. They got all these things swarming around. They can't balance it. Then they feel lost, and then they're not keeping their commitments. And then all of a sudden, they're not growing their business, and they feel like they're failing. But it all starts from the intentionality with everything.
And there's, there's something to be said for the simplicity of all that too. And, before we hopped on here, I was on a call yesterday with some of our coaches in Fit Pro Collective, and I had to remind them, I'm like, look, remember what we're doing here. Like, if you run a fitness business, you're wanting to help people. I mean, that's the goal. And thankfully, like, we have people that actually do want to help people, not just to make money, but like genuinely care about other human beings. So, if you're a coach and you're listening to this, like, don't lose sight of what the actual goal is. Yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to craft a schedule that's enjoyable. Yes, we want to have a lifestyle that we love showing up for, but we're trying to help human beings here. So all the things that a lot of times we get lost in, and we have to do this, we have to do that, and you got to post, and you got to be on here and that. Like, don't forget that the goal is to help human beings.
Yeah. And I think it comes down, there's a big difference between passion and purpose. I met a lot of coaches that are passionate about fitness, but they're passionate because they enjoy what they get from it. You know what I mean, Mark? They ain't worried. They ain't focused about the other person. It's about them. But when you meet a coach that this is my purpose, is to help people live healthier, happier, more purpose-driven lives through fitness, you can tell. It's night and day. And that's what closes deals. That's what creates businesses, is by you actually going out there and helping people by actually helping them first. And Mark, I don't know who the fuck it was in the fitness industry that came up with this, like, don't help people and we got to sell them first to go get the thing. I wish I could find them and punch them in the fucking throat, because it's the worst piece of advice that I had to unlearn, because that's how I came up, was the corporate side. So I was thinking that you couldn't operate that way. You wouldn't actually get business, where I'm coming to find out, man, it's actually the opposite. If you go bless people and go help them, and with online, you can do it at scale, dude, you can't help but grow a business, even if you suck at sales.
No, it's so true. And we attract people the way that we operate too. So if you look up and you got a bunch of shit bags that are clients, and you got people that are always like, oh, I'll get you paid. And, just like things that we hear are frustrations for coaches. At some point, if that's the norm, you got to look in the mirror and go, how am I showing up?
Right.
How am I operating in this world? How do I purchase from people? What, am I an asshole or am I a nice person? Because you attract what you put out there. I'm very fortunate that I learned that lesson a long time ago. Like, just go serve people, just go help. And the right people are going to show up. And now I got a gym full of awesome human beings that love being there, that love showing up, that love, well, I don't know if they love doing the work, but they love the result of the work, and they leave with a smile on their face. And it's because of the way that I have consistently showed up over the years that I get to attract people like that want that environment.
And dude, that's the secret. Like, I hear let's be honest, there's tons of other coaches and agencies that can get you clients, get you sales, get you money. There's tons of them. I don't ever see anyone talk about how to get clients, but not just clients, but clients who are actually cultural fits that will become raving fans. And you don't ever have to worry about the back end, because you're not qualifying them based on whether they have money. You're qualifying them based on the type of human being that they are.
Yeah.
And that's fucking cool, man, to be able to build a business that way. Because you and I both know, dude, it's all about the back end. That's what matters most.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about replenishing your clients every month either.
Yeah. It's a revolving door. Been there. That's fucking awful.
I just, Dustin, but I brought a coach into the gym to help me out now. And, I'm kind of giving him the rundown of people, and I'm like, and they've been here for 3-4 years, and that person's been here for 5 years, and that person's been with me for 9 years, and that guy's been here for almost 14 years. And like, that's the norm in my gym, that I have people for years on end, and that's their home. Because that's the community that we have. And it's not just me, it's the other people that, they love being around these other humans and doing life with them.
Absolutely. So what I'd like to end on with that is, I know we just dropped a bunch of different gold nuggets as we've gone through this. The reoccurring theme is intention. The reoccurring theme is getting honest and clear with yourself, right? Are you really becoming the type of person that's going to attract the type of people, AKA clients, that you want in your life? And it starts 100% with the intention that you set behind your time. So if you even apply one of these tips today, I can promise you, you're going to start seeing changes. But number two, I know me and Mark would love to hear the success that you have with it, right? So make sure, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, man, what the hell are you doing? Get your ass in there. We got a damn good group going on. So super easy for you to find. It's the same name as the podcast. Real Talk, Real Fit Pros on Facebook. Make sure you come check that out. Got a really cool community in there, and we love to help you get what you're worth if you struggle with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you haven't already, sit down, figure out what you want, not just your business, but like, what do you want out of life? And, it seems like it's been a recurring theme lately in a lot of my coaching clients from the fitness industry and other industries of like, you got to figure out what you want. And then once you figure that out, like all the other stuff, you don't need all the answers, but if you know what you want, you can start reverse engineering that and figuring out, okay, well, if I want this, then what does my day need to look like today to move me one step closer to that thing that I want?
Yeah.
And it's again, simple in theory, much harder in application, but I promise it'll get you there.
Absolutely. Well, as always, hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a review so we can help more fit pros get what they're worth. And as always, don't you forget to go out there and get what you're worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn good.
Damn good show.